Hello, my friends. I want to start today's conversation with a simple question. Have you ever sat in your doctor's office, looked at your blood test results, and heard the words, "Your cholesterol is too high"? For many people over 50, that moment feels like a storm cloud rolling in. Questions begin to rush through the mind. Does this mean I'll need pills for the rest of my life? Is this the start of heart disease? Am I in danger? I've seen that fear so many times in my patients' eyes. And I want to tell you something right now. High cholesterol is not a life sentence. It is a signal, a wake-up call from your body asking you to pay attention. I'm a physician, yes, but I'm also 60 years old. I've lived through my own seasons of worry, my own nights of lying awake wondering about health. And over decades of working with people like you, men and women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, I've learned a powerful truth. Cholesterol can be reversed, naturally, gently, consistently, not with fads, not with endless supplements, but with daily choices, simple, almost ordinary choices that when practiced with care become extraordinary in their results. One of my patients, Linda, came to me at 62. Her LDL was high, her triglycerides even higher. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like my health is slipping away. I don't want to spend the rest of my life counting pills." I smiled and said, "Linda, let's not count pills. Let's count cups." And that's how we began with something I call the 5 cup theory. I told Linda, "Let's count cups." She looked puzzled. Cups of what I explained to her, something so simple, it almost feels too easy. It's called the 5 cup theory. Every single day, imagine filling 5 cups, not with coffee, not with soda, not with pills, but with vegetables. 2 cups of raw vegetables, 2 cups of cooked vegetables, and 1 full cup of leafy greens. That's it. 5 cups a day. Now you might ask, "Doctor, can it really be that simple?" Let me tell you, it's more powerful than most people realize. Vegetables are the unsung heroes of cholesterol control. They're rich in soluble fiber, which acts like a sponge inside your body. When you eat foods like beans, broccoli, or spinach, the fiber binds with cholesterol particles and escorts them out of the body rather than letting them settle in your arteries. I want you to imagine this. Your blood vessels are like highways. Over time, cholesterol can build up like traffic jams, slow dangerous, eventually blocking the flow. Fiber is like a street cleaning crew, quiet, steady, and absolutely essential. Without it, the traffic piles up. With it, the roads stay open. One gentleman I treated, Mr. Harris, age 70, was skeptical. He had always been a meat and potatoes kind of man. When I suggested 5 cups of vegetables daily, he chuckled. "Doc, I'm not a rabbit," but he agreed to try them. He added a spinach salad at lunch, a side of roasted Brussels sprouts at dinner, and a cup of green beans with a sprinkle of sesame seeds. Just 3 months later, his LDL cholesterol had dropped by 20 points. His triglycerides came down too. And you know what he said to me, "Doc, I never thought I'd crave broccoli, but now I do." And here's the truth. Science supports his experience. Studies show that people who consume at least 25 to 30 grams of fiber daily can lower LDL cholesterol by as much as 15 to 20%. That's the kind of improvement many hope to see from medication. But here it's coming from food, gentle, nourishing, side effect free. Think about it, 5 cups a day. It doesn't mean radical diets or giving up everything you love. It means letting your plate be filled with more color, more life. It means giving your heart the raw materials it needs to heal. And let's not forget leafy greens, the single cup that can change everything. kale, collard greens, arugula, spinach. They're rich in antioxidants like lutein and vitamin K, which not only protect your arteries, but also improve circulation and reduce inflammation. Sometimes I ask my patients, when was the last time you ate something green today? It's a simple question, but it reveals so much. Often the answer is silence or a hesitant, well, yesterday, I think. And that's when I gently remind them health isn't built in a single day. It's built in the rhythm of daily choices. Linda began her 5-cup journey by blending a green smoothie in the morning, spinach apple and a squeeze of lemon. She'd snack on cucumber slices instead of crackers. Dinner included a hearty portion of stir-fried vegetables. After a few weeks, she told me, "Doctor, my digestion feels lighter. My rings aren't tight anymore. And my blood pressure cuff isn't so scary." That's the hidden magic of vegetables. They don't just reduce cholesterol, they ease bloating, stabilize blood sugar, and give your body the space to breathe again. So I want to ask you, as you sit here listening to me, could you add 5 cups of vegetables to your day? Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Because every cup you add is one step away from medication and one step closer to freedom. Let's talk about something that has caused so much confusion over the years: fat. For decades, many of us were told that fat was the enemy, that if we wanted to protect our hearts, we needed to avoid it altogether. Margarine replaced butter, fat-free snacks filled grocery store shelves, and yet heart disease kept rising. The truth is more nuanced. Not all fats are created equal. In fact, the right kind of fat can heal your heart, while the wrong kind can silently harm it. I remember a patient of mine, Margaret, 67 years old. She came in clutching a bag of low-fat cookies and proudly told me, "Doctor, I gave up butter years ago. I only eat fat-free." But when we looked at her cholesterol panel, her triglycerides were sky high and her LDL was creeping up. Why? Because she had been avoiding healthy fats and replacing them with processed sugary substitutes. Her body was starving for the fats that actually protect the heart. So let me share with you what I told Margaret, something I tell all my patients. Think of your fats as friends or foes. The foes: deep-fried foods, processed snacks, trans fats, and too much red meat. These stiffen your arteries, inflame your body, and raise cholesterol in the worst ways. But the friend, oh, they are powerful allies. Take extra virgin olive oil. It's a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, one of the most heart-protective eating patterns ever studied. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and compounds called polyphenols, which act like little bodyguards, calming inflammation and keeping your arteries flexible. I often tell patients, swap out the butter you might spread on bread with a drizzle of olive oil. Cook your vegetables in it. Use it in your salad dressings. It's not just delicious, it's medicine on a plate. Then there's coconut oil and ghee, often used in traditional cooking. When used in moderation, just a spoonful or two, they can add flavor without overloading the body. These fats are easily digestible, and when balanced with vegetables and whole grains, don't raise cholesterol the way processed oils do. Another secret weapon: nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia. A handful of these each day can lower LDL and raise HDL, the good cholesterol that sweeps away the bad. One study showed that people who ate a small serving of nuts daily had a 28% lower risk of heart disease. That's not a drug, that's food doing its quiet work. I want you to picture your arteries as garden hoses. The wrong fats like fried fast food are like pouring sludge through them, coating the inside until water barely flows. But the right fats, olive oil, walnuts, flaxseed, are like clean, smooth water washing through, keeping the hose supple, unclogged, alive. Margaret, the patient I mentioned earlier, made a simple change. She swapped her fat-free snacks for a handful of almonds in the afternoon. She began cooking her vegetables with olive oil instead of vegetable shortening. Within 4 months, her triglycerides dropped by 40 points. Her LDL improved. And most importantly, she felt good again. And here's something I want you to reflect on. Have you ever noticed how a meal with healthy fats feels different? You don't crash with hunger an hour later. You don't feel heavy or bloated. Instead, you feel satisfied, steady, calm. That's because healthy fats don't just nourish the body, they nourish stability. They keep blood sugar balanced, hormones steady, and inflammation under control. So I ask you, what oils are sitting in your kitchen right now? Do they work for you or against you? Because every drizzle of olive oil, every sprinkle of flaxseed, every handful of walnuts, it's a gift you're giving your arteries. It's not indulgence, it's protection. And for those of us in our 50s, 60s, and beyond, that protection matters more than ever. When it comes to food, there's one question I hear again and again from my patients. Doctor, should I still be eating dairy or should I switch to something else? It's a fair question because many of us grew up believing milk, cheese, and butter were the very foundation of strength. We were told, drink your milk or strong bones. And yes, there's truth there. But there's also another side to the story, especially when it comes to cholesterol and heart health. I remember sitting with James, a 72-year-old retired teacher. He loved cheese, sharp cheddar every night with crackers. He told me, Doc, it's my one pleasure. Don't take it away from me. But when his cholesterol panel came back, his LDL was high, his triglycerides were climbing, and his arteries were showing early stiffness. He was scared, but he did not want to give up flavor. Here's what I told him and what I want to tell you. It's not about deprivation, it's about swapping wisely. You see, many dairy products, especially full-fat cheese and butter, are rich in saturated fats. These can raise LDL cholesterol, the kind that clogs arteries like debris in a drain. But the good news, we have alternatives that are both delicious and protective. Take tofu. Some people wrinkle their nose at it. Doctor, it's bland, it's boring. But tofu is like a blank canvas. It soaks up flavors, garlic, ginger, herbs, and transforms into something hearty and satisfying. Most importantly, it's plant-based, meaning no cholesterol, and studies show that people who eat more soy protein see reductions in LDL cholesterol. Even yogurt has its better versions. Instead of sweetened flavored yogurts packed with sugar, I often suggest plain Greek yogurt or even plant-based yogurts made from oats, almonds, or coconut. They give you protein and probiotics without the cholesterol overload. And here's something many people overlook: fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These are not only high in protein, but also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which act like a soothing balm for inflamed arteries. One of my patients, Ellen, who had struggled with high cholesterol for years, began swapping red meat twice a week for salmon. 3 months later, her HDL, the good cholesterol, had climbed. She felt lighter, her joints ached less, and even her energy improved. Now let me ask you, have you noticed how you feel after eating a heavy meal of fried meat versus a lighter meal with grilled fish or lentil soup? One leaves you sluggish, the other gives you energy. That's your body talking to you. That's a silent conversation between your food and your heart. And it's not about perfection. You don't have to give up every piece of cheese or every glass of milk. What I encourage is balance. Maybe you swap half the week for plant-based proteins like beans, lentils, tofu, and tempeh. Maybe you enjoy fish a few times a week. And when you do have dairy, choose wisely small portions, low-fat options, or fermented versions like kefir, which actually support gut health. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your dinner plate. On one night, it's a thick steak with butter on top. On another, it's a grilled salmon fillet with roasted vegetables drizzled in olive oil. Which plate do you think your arteries prefer? Which plate helps your blood flow smoothly, your pressure stabilize your cholesterol, shift in the right direction? James, the patient who loved cheese, didn't quit it entirely. He just learned to enjoy it sparingly and discovered new favorites like roasted chickpeas and hummus, rich in protein and flavor. 6 months later, his numbers improved, and he told me, "Doctor, I feel like I traded one pleasure for three new ones." That's the beauty of wise choices. They expand your life, not shrink it. So the next time you open your fridge, ask yourself, is this food fueling healing? Or is it feeding the fire of inflammation? Because every bite is a vote for or against your future health. You know, in my years of practice, I've seen the simplest habits make the biggest difference. One of those is what I like to call the 5 cup theory. Now, I want you to picture this 5 cups lined up in front of you. Not cups of coffee or soda, but cups filled with vegetables. Imagine 2 cups of raw, 2 cups of cooked, and 1 cup of leafy greens. That's 5 cups in a day. Simple, right? But the impact is extraordinary. I had a patient, Margaret, 68 years old. She came to me frustrated. She said, "Doctor, I've tried every pill, every powder, every fancy diet on the market, but nothing makes my cholesterol budge." When I asked her about vegetables, she shrugged and said, "I eat a salad sometimes." Sometimes. That was the key. I encouraged her to try 5 cups every day, not as punishment, but as a gift to her body. Within 3 months, her LDL cholesterol had dropped, her digestion was smoother, and she told me something that made me smile, "Doctor, I feel lighter, like my body is actually thanking me." You see, vegetables aren't just side dishes. They're medicine disguised as food. The soluble fiber in beans, peas, lentils, and oats acts like a sponge, pulling cholesterol out of your body before it can settle in your arteries. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, collard greens relax your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more easily. And colorful vegetables like peppers, carrots, and beets, they're packed with antioxidants that protect your arteries like a shield. Think of fiber as your body's natural broom. It sweeps away excess cholesterol, balances your blood sugar, and keeps everything moving as it should. Have you ever noticed how sluggish you feel when you don't get enough fiber? Constipation, bloating, fatigue? It's your body waving a little red flag saying, "I need more plants." And here's something fascinating. People who eat more fiber live longer, healthier lives. Not just because of lower cholesterol, but because fiber feeds the good bacteria in your gut. These tiny bacteria, invisible to the eye, create compounds that reduce inflammation, support your immune system, and even help your brain stay sharp. I often tell my patients, don't underestimate the humble bean. A single cup of beans a day can lower LDL cholesterol by 5 to 10%. That's as powerful as some medications. Imagine that nature's pharmacy sitting quietly on your dinner plate. But here's the challenge. I know vegetables can feel boring. Maybe you grew up thinking of them as punishment on your plate, boiled, bland, tasteless. but they don't have to be. Roasted Brussels sprouts with a drizzle of olive oil, a colorful stir fry with garlic and ginger, or a hearty vegetable soup on a cold evening, these can be joyful, comforting meals. I want you to imagine this, it's dinner time. Instead of staring at a plate of meat and potatoes, you're looking at a vibrant spread, greens, beans, roasted vegetables, maybe a small piece of fish on the side. The colors are alive, the flavors are rich, and with every bite, you know you're healing your heart, protecting your arteries, and gifting yourself more years with the people you love. Margaret, the patient I mentioned earlier now, calls her 5 cups her daily promise. She told me every cup is a promise to my grandchildren that I'll be there to watch them grow. Isn't that beautiful? So let me ask you, what would your 5 cups look like today? Could you imagine building your meals around them instead of just adding them as an afterthought? Because when you do something, shifts not just in your body, but in your spirit. You start to feel that life is about nourishment, not restriction, about abundance, not scarcity. And here's the truth, cholesterol is not destiny, it's a signal. And vegetables, 5 simple cups a day can change that signal quiet. The storm inside your arteries and open the door to a healthier, more vibrant life. When it comes to cholesterol, most people fear oil. I hear it every day. Doctor, should I stop using oil altogether? And I always smile and say, no, it's not about avoiding fat. It's about choosing the right kind. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I had a patient named Robert. He was 72, a retired teacher, and he loved cooking breakfast for his wife every morning. But he confessed, Doc, I can't give up my butter. It's tradition. I didn't scold him. Instead, I handed him a bottle of extra virgin olive oil and said, try this just once. Drizzle it on your toast, saute your vegetables with it, and see how you feel. A few weeks later, Robert came back with a big grin. His cholesterol had dropped, and he told me, I never thought I'd enjoy olive oil on bread, but now it feels like my body is thanking me every morning. You see, not all fats are created equal. Butter and lard are heavy. They clog arteries like grease in an old kitchen pipe. But oils like extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, and even a little ghee, when used wisely, nourish the body instead of burdening it. Olive oil, especially the cold-pressed kind, is rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants. It helps lower LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, while raising HDL, the protective kind. Mediterranean cultures have known this secret for centuries. Think of the people in Italy or Greece pouring olive oil over their salads, dipping bread into it, or cooking their vegetables with it. Their hearts, on average, are healthier, their arteries more supple. Now, coconut oil often stirs debate. Some fear it because it contains saturated fat. But here's the truth, when used in moderation, coconut oil can be a friend, not an enemy. It provides quick energy, supports brain function, and has even been shown to raise good HDL cholesterol. I tell my patients a spoonful used for cooking or roasting is fine. It adds flavor and, more importantly, balance. And what about ghee? Many of my patients of South Asian background grew up on it. I say don't fear ghee, but respect it. A teaspoon here and there can enrich flavor and provide healthy, fat-soluble vitamins. The problem comes when it becomes the mainstay of every meal. Moderation always. One of my favorite lessons is this: it's not about banning food, but about balance. Imagine this, you're making dinner. Instead of frying your vegetables in butter, you saute them gently in olive oil, finishing with a drizzle of lemon. Instead of deep frying, you roast. Instead of drowning a dish in heavy fats, you use just enough healthy oil to bring out its flavor. Suddenly, food becomes lighter, yet more satisfying. And let's not forget nuts and seeds, nature's way of packing healthy fats into tiny crunchy bites. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, they not only reduce cholesterol, but also provide omega-3s that calm inflammation inside your arteries. A small handful daily can be more powerful than you think. I want you to imagine your arteries for a moment. They're not rigid pipes, they're living rivers meant to flow freely. The wrong fats, deep-fried snacks, processed oils, margarine are like pouring sludge into that river. But the right fats, olive oil, nuts, seeds, coconut oil in moderation, are like adding clean water, keeping the flow smooth, steady, and life-giving. Robert, the retired teacher I mentioned, told me something beautiful after he made the switch. He said, "Doctor, I used to eat to fill my stomach. Now I eat to fuel my life." That shift in perspective is everything. So let me ask you, what oil sits in your kitchen right now? Is it one that clogs your heart's river or one that helps it flow freely? The choice is small, but the impact on your health, on your years, on your vitality is profound. You know, one of the greatest medicines we often overlook doesn't come in a pill bottle. It's as simple as moving our bodies. I once had a patient named Linda. She was 68, a grandmother of 5, and she came to me frustrated. "Doctor, I'm doing everything right with my diet, but my cholesterol is still stubborn. What else can I do?" I looked at her and asked, "Tell me about your day. How much did you move?" She sighed and admitted, "Not much. I sit most of the day reading or watching my grandkids play, but I rarely join in." I smiled gently and said, "Linda, your heart is asking for more than healthy food. It's asking for rhythm, for movement, for life. Walking, such a simple act, yet so powerful. Science shows us that even 30 to 40 minutes of brisk walking a day can soften stiff arteries, lower LDL cholesterol, raise HDL, and improve circulation. But beyond the numbers, walking reconnects us to life. It clears the mind, eases stress, and invites joy back into our days. I always tell my patients, don't think you need to walk miles and miles. 4 kilometers, about 2.5 miles a day, is enough. And you don't even have to do it all at once. Break it into parts. 5 minutes brisk, 5 minutes gentle. A rhythm like music. This alternation not only works your heart, but also keeps your muscles engaged. And here's something many people forget. Stairs. Climbing stairs is one of the most underrated forms of exercise, especially for women who spend much of their lives caring for family. Think about it. Each step works the thighs, the calves, the core. And did you know your thighs are like your second heart? They help pump blood back up from your legs against gravity. That's why losing too much muscle in the thighs can lead to varicose veins, poor circulation, even heart strain. So I encourage my patients, if you can climb stairs daily, start small, 5 steps, then 10, then a whole flight. Over time, you'll notice your breathing becomes steadier, your legs stronger, and your heart lighter. I want you to imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, slip on your shoes, and step outside. The air is cool, the world's still waking. You take one step, then another. With each step, you are not just walking forward, you're walking toward a healthier heart, a longer life, and a deeper sense of peace. Linda Tish did just that. She began with short walks around her block. Then she added a few flights of stairs at home. Within 3 months, not only had her cholesterol improved, but her face carried a glow. She told me, "Doctor, oh yeah, I feel young again. I feel like I reclaimed something I thought I had lost." It's not about running marathons or joining a fancy gym. It's about consistency. It's about giving your heart the gentle movement it craves. It's about choosing yourself day after day. And here's a little secret: when you combine movement with one, it becomes effortless. Dance in your kitchen, play with your grandchildren, garden sweep the porch, stretch with the sunrise. Every act of movement is a gift you give to your heart. So I ask you, what will it be? Will you let your muscles grow weaker, your thighs shrink, your heart carry the burden alone? Or will you rise step by step, walk by walk, and give your heart the partner it deserves? Because in the end, health isn't built in a single day. It's built in the quiet, steady rhythm of your feet against the earth. There's a simple truth I've learned after decades in medicine: vegetables are medicine. Not the kind that comes with warning labels or long lists of side effects, but the quiet kind, gentle, powerful, steady. I want to share something with you that I call the 5 cup theory. It's simple, but it can transform your health. Every single day, aim for 5 cups of vegetables, 2 cups raw, 2 cups cooked, and 1 full cup of leafy greens. That's it. 5 cups. Now, some of you might be thinking, Doctor, that's a lot of vegetables, but let me tell you a story. A gentleman named Robert, 72, came into my office last year. His cholesterol was creeping up, his triglycerides high, and he felt sluggish. He told me, I'm tired of more pills. I want another way. So I gave him this challenge: 5 cups a day, Robert. Do it for 3 months. He looked at me half skeptical, half hopeful, but he did it. He started small, adding spinach to his morning omelet, a side salad at lunch, steamed broccoli at dinner. Slowly, the habit grew. 3 months later, when he returned, his numbers had shifted dramatically. His LDL had dropped, his triglycerides were down, and his energy was back. He said, Doctor, I feel alive again. And all it took was 5 cups. Science explains why this works. Vegetables are full of soluble fiber, the kind that traps cholesterol in your gut and carries it out of your body before it can harm your arteries. They're rich in antioxidants that heal inflammation, the silent fire that damages blood vessels. Leafy greens in particular produce nitric oxide, which helps your arteries relax and improves blood flow. But beyond the science, vegetables bring life. They add color, texture, joy to your meals. And for many of us over 60, they help keep digestion regular, bowels smooth, and energy steady throughout the day. I want you to picture this: a plate filled with roasted carrots, green beans tossed with sesame seeds, fresh cucumber slices, and a crisp salad of spinach, tomatoes. So that's not punishment, that's abundance. That's life giving back to you. Now, there's a caution I must share. If you're on blood thinners, certain leafy greens high in vitamin K can interfere with your medication. That doesn't mean you can't eat them. It just means you need guidance from your doctor or a qualified nutritionist to find the right balance. Always remember, food is powerful, and even natural medicine needs wisdom in its use. The beauty of the 5 cup theory is its flexibility. You don't need exotic superfoods or expensive powders. Beans from the market, broccoli from the freezer, spinach from your local grocery store, all of it counts. Add a sprinkle of sesame or flaxseed for healthy fats. Suddenly, you've got a meal that lowers cholesterol and lifts your spirit. One woman told me, Doctor, when I started adding my 5 cups, my husband laughed. He said, You'll never keep it up. But now, 3 months later, he's eating them too. And for the first time in years, we both feel like we're nourishing each other, not just filling our plates. Isn't that beautiful? Food not only heals the body, it can heal relationships, bring families together around a shared table of color and life. So I ask you, when was the last time you filled your plate with vegetables? Not as a side, not as an afterthought, but as the main event. Imagine your body day after day being cleansed, strengthened, and renewed by the simple act of 5 cups. Your arteries will thank you. Your heart will thank you. And perhaps most importantly, your future self will thank you. Because health isn't about deprivation, it's about nourishment. And 5 cups a day, 5 humble cups of vegetables might just be the most powerful prescription you'll ever receive. When it comes to heart health, people often whisper the same question to me as if it's a secret doctor. What kind of oil should I cook with? I've been practicing medicine for more than 3 decades, and I can tell you this. Choosing the right fat is not about chasing the latest fad. It's about balance, tradition, and understanding what truly nourishes the body. Let me tell you a story. A patient of mine, Mary, in her late 60s, once came in frustrated. She said, I've tried coconut oil, I've tried canola, sometimes I just go back to butter, and now I don't know what's safe anymore. I smiled and said, Mary, you're not alone. The food industry has made fat one of the most confusing topics in nutrition. Let's make it simple. Here's the truth. Some fats heal and some fats harm. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, remains one of the best choices we have. Study after study shows that it lowers inflammation, supports flexible arteries, and improves cholesterol balance. It's no wonder the Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil has given people some of the longest lifespans in the world. Picture this, a drizzle of olive oil over roasted vegetables or whisk with lemon juice into a salad dressing. It's delicious, familiar, and healing all at once. Now let's talk about peanut oil. Many of you grew up with peanut butter in your lunchbox, something so American it almost feels nostalgic. Peanut oil, when cold pressed and used in moderation, can add depth to cooking without harming your heart. It's a better option than many refined oils sitting on store shelves. What about coconut oil? This one sparks debate. Some studies suggest it raises LDL, others highlight its antioxidant benefits. My advice is this: use it sparingly. But if you enjoy a bit of coconut oil for sautéing vegetables or adding richness to oatmeal, it can be part of a balanced diet. And then, of course, there's butter and ghee. I grew up in a time when butter was considered the enemy. Later, margarine took its place, and then margarine was found to be far worse. Now, science is circling back with a more nuanced view. Here's what I tell my patients: a little butter won't break your heart. What matters is moderation. A teaspoon of ghee on steamed broccoli or a thin pat of butter on whole grain toast can bring satisfaction without harm. But a diet built on heavy daily butter, well, that's where problems begin. The biggest danger isn't butter, olive oil, or coconut oil. The biggest danger is the processed hydrogenated oils that hide in packaged foods, things like soybean oil, corn oil, or palm oil in cookies, crackers, frozen meals. Those oils inflame the body, stiffen arteries, and make cholesterol far more dangerous than it needs to be. I often tell my patients, don't fear fat, respect it, because the right fats act like lubrication for your arteries. They keep blood flowing smoothly, prevent stiffness, and protect the delicate inner lining of your vessels. The wrong fats, on the other hand, are like sludge in your pipes. Let me ask you, when you step into your kitchen, do you reach for the oils that heal or the ones that harm? What sits on your counter tells a story about your future health. So here's my invitation to you. Keep a bottle of good olive oil by your stove. Let peanut oil or coconut oil be occasional companions. Use butter or ghee when you need comfort, but keep them in small amounts. And above all, stay away from the highly processed oils that sneak into packaged snacks. Food is memory, food is joy, but food is also medicine. And when it comes to fat, it can either be the medicine that protects your heart or the poison that silently erodes it. The choice is yours. I often say this to my patients. The heart is a muscle, and like every muscle in the body, it must be trained to stay strong. But here's the truth: many people misunderstand training. Your heart doesn't mean running marathons or spending 2 hours at the gym. In fact, some of the best exercises for heart health are the simplest, most ordinary movements of daily life. Let me tell you a story. A gentleman named Richard came to me in his early 70s. He was worried his cholesterol was creeping up, his blood pressure wasn't stable, and he feared that his age was catching up with him. He told me, "Doctor, I can't run anymore. My knees won't let me. Am I doomed?" I smiled and said, "Richard, you don't need to run. You just need to move. And that's the beauty of it, movement, not punishment. Walking briskly through your neighborhood, climbing the stairs in your own home, carrying groceries, even working in the garden. These are not just chores, they are heart medicine." Science shows that just 30 to 40 minutes of brisk walking a day improves circulation, lowers LDL cholesterol, and raises the protective HDL cholesterol. But beyond numbers, walking trains your heart to pump more efficiently, to send blood flowing smoothly through your vessels, and to handle the stresses of daily life without strain. Imagine this: you're walking through your local park, feeling the breeze against your face, your breath falling into a rhythm. That simple act is repairing your arteries, reducing inflammation, and lowering your risk of heart disease. Isn't that incredible? Now, for those of you who like a little variety, stair climbing is one of the most underrated exercises. Every step upward pushes blood against gravity, strengthening not just your heart, but also your leg muscles, which act like a second pump for circulation. Even a few flights a day can make a big difference. And then there's resistance training. I don't mean heavy bodybuilding weights. I'm talking about light dumbbells, resistance bands, or even body weight exercises like squats and wall push-ups. These keep your muscles strong, improve insulin sensitivity, and help you maintain independence as you age. Remember, strong muscles mean a stronger heart. Some of my patients find joy in Tai Chi yoga or even dancing. One of my patients, Margaret, age 68, told me, "Doctor, every Saturday night, my husband and I dance in our living room. We laugh, we move, and I swear my heart feels lighter after." That's exercise too. It doesn't need to be formal. It needs to be joyful. And gardening, oh, gardening is one of my favorites. Digging, planting, bending, carrying, watering cans. These movements are as natural as breathing. When you garden, you connect to the earth, reduce stress, and gently train your body without even noticing it. I call it exercise disguised as joy. Now let me ask you, have you ever noticed how much better you feel after a short walk? Your mood lifts, your body loosens, and the world seems lighter. That's your body rewarding you. That's your heart saying thank you. The truth is, exercise is not punishment. It's not about burning calories or chasing youth. It's about honoring your heart. It's about giving your body the chance to do what it was designed to do: move, breathe, and thrive. So here's my challenge to you tomorrow morning. Put on a pair of comfortable shoes, step outside, walk for 10 minutes, then add another 10 the next day. Before you know it, your heart will be stronger, your cholesterol will be lower, and you'll feel a new energy in your step. The body responds to consistency, not perfection. And the best exercise for your heart is the one you enjoy enough to do every day. Because in the end, movement is not just exercise, it's a celebration of being alive. I want to share with you a little philosophy I've carried through my years of practice, something I call the 5 cup theory. It's not a fancy diet, it's not a restrictive program. It's simply a way of reminding ourselves that food is not just calories. Food is information. Food is medicine. The idea is simple: 5 cups of vegetables a day, 2 cups raw, 2 cups cooked, and 1 cup of leafy greens. That's it. That's the heart of it. Now let me explain why. Vegetables are the quiet healers in our kitchens. They don't come in shiny bottles. They don't have labels that scream miracle cure. And yet they hold the power to heal blood vessels, lower cholesterol, and bring balance back to our bodies. Take leafy greens like spinach, kale, or collard greens. They are packed with nitric oxide, nature's way of relaxing your arteries. They reduce stiffness, improve circulation, and lower blood pressure. Every time you eat a bowl of greens, you're sending a message of relaxation straight to your blood vessels. Then there are beans, green beans, string beans, black beans. One of my patients, Linda, a 6-year-old retired teacher, once told me, "Doctor, I started adding just 1 cup of green beans to my dinner every day. In 3 months, my cholesterol dropped more than it had in years." That's the magic of fiber, slowing down cholesterol absorption and feeding the good bacteria in your gut that protect your heart. And don't underestimate cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. They act like tiny brooms, sweeping away inflammation and supporting the liver in processing fats more efficiently. Now let's talk about color. Imagine a plate filled with carrots, bell peppers, tomatoes. The reds, the oranges, the yellows. Each color represents a unique family of antioxidants that shield your arteries from damage. It's like painting your heart with layers of protection every time you eat. I often say, the more colors on your plate, the stronger your heart becomes. But here's where it becomes deeply personal. It's not just about science, it's about the ritual. Preparing vegetables is an act of self-care. Washing them, chopping them, cooking them gently in olive oil, it's like telling your body, I value you. I want you to stay strong. Have you ever noticed how calm you feel when cooking a pot of vegetable soup on a chilly evening? Or how satisfied you are after a crisp salad on a summer afternoon? That's not just nourishment, it's therapy for the soul. And don't worry, you don't need exotic superfoods. The answer is not in some rare powder shipped from across the world. It's right here in the cucumbers from your grocery store, the carrots from your local farmer's market, the lettuce from your backyard garden. So how do you begin? Start small. 1 cup of raw vegetables with lunch. Maybe a cup of cooked broccoli at dinner. Add a handful of spinach to your eggs in the morning. By the end of the day, you'll have reached 5 cups without even realizing it. And let me tell you this, when you make vegetables the center of your plate, something shifts. Your energy rises. Your digestion smooths out. Your cholesterol begins to fall naturally without pills, without side effects. The 5 cup theory is not a restriction. It's a celebration. It's about inviting nature back into your body. So tomorrow when you prepare your meals, I want you to pause and ask yourself, did I give my body its 5 cups today? Because each cup is not just food, It's a gift of life, a promise of more time with the people you love, more days filled with breath and laughter. You know, for decades we were told to fear fat. We were told that butter oil, even eggs, were enemies to the heart. And yet, after all these years, I've come to realize it's not fat itself that's the enemy. It's the kind of fat we choose. I've seen patients go from margarine spreads and deep-fried snacks to olive oil and avocados, and within months their numbers changed. Cholesterol dropped, blood pressure stabilized, energy returned. One of my patients, Robert, a 72-year-old veteran, once said, "Doctor, switching from fried foods to olive oil was easier than I thought. And you know what? I don't even miss the old stuff." That's the truth. Our bodies adapt to better choices and our hearts thank us for it. So let's talk about the oils we should welcome into our kitchens. Extra virgin olive oil. This is liquid gold, rich in monounsaturated fats. It helps lower LDL cholesterol and raises the protective HDL. I often tell people, drizzle it over your salad, saute your vegetables lightly in it, or even dip your bread in it. It's not just delicious, it's medicine in disguise. Then there's avocado, smooth, creamy, and heart-friendly. Spread it on toast, blend it into smoothies, or simply slice it on top of a salad. Every bite is packed with healthy fats that keep your arteries flexible. And let's not forget nuts. Almonds, walnuts, pecans. A small handful a day can lower cholesterol and reduce inflammation. They're nature's snack better than any processed chip or cookie could ever be. But while we embrace these, we must also say goodbye to the imposters, the oils that harm more than they heal. Hydrogenated oils, trans fats, the ones hidden in packaged cookies, fried fast food, and frozen pizzas. They sneak into our diet, silently hardening our arteries bit by bit like rust creeping across old pipes. I once compared it to this for a patient. Imagine your arteries are like a clean flowing river. When you choose healthy oils, the river runs smooth, flexible, alive. But when you fill your meals with trans fats, it's like pouring sludge into that river. Slowly the flow chokes and eventually the life it carries is threatened. So the choice of oils is more than cooking. It's about the legacy of your health. Now I know some of you might ask, "Doctor, what about coconut oil? What about butter?" My answer is balance. A little natural butter, especially from grass-fed cows, can be part of a joyful life. Coconut oil in moderation brings unique compounds that may benefit metabolism. But the foundation, the oil you return to again and again, should be olive oil. That is the anchor. Here's a simple shift I often recommend. Replace your morning buttered toast with whole grain bread drizzled in olive oil and sprinkled with herbs. Not only will it satisfy, but it will also help lower cholesterol and nurture your heart. The lesson is simple but profound. Choose oils that heal, not harm. Choose fats that give life, not steal it. Because every drop you cook with every bite you take is either a step toward health or a step away from it. And you, my friend, deserve to step toward a longer, fuller, more vibrant life. So tonight when you prepare dinner, pause for a moment. Look at the oil you're about to pour into that pan. Ask yourself, is this oil building my future or borrowing from it? I want you to pause for a moment and think about this question. When was the last time you truly moved your body, not because you had to, but because it gave you joy? For so many of us, exercise has become a chore, a burden, a reminder of what we should do. But the truth is movement is medicine. And the good news, the prescription doesn't come in a pill bottle. It's free. I've seen it firsthand. One of my patients, Margaret, she's 68, once told me, "Doctor, I don't like gyms. I don't like weights, but I do love walking in the morning with my neighbor." And you know what? That's all she needed. Within 6 months, her blood pressure dropped, her cholesterol improved, and her smile grew bigger every time she visited me. Walking. Such a simple act, yet science tells us that just 30 to 40 minutes a day of brisk walking can lower LDL cholesterol, raise HDL, reduce inflammation, and even help clean plaque from artery walls. Isn't that extraordinary? Now, you don't need to walk for hours. You don't need to run marathons. Think of your heart like a loyal old friend. It doesn't need you to push it to extremes. It just needs you to keep showing up day after day. And variety helps too. Some days go for a brisk walk. Other days climb the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Or dance in your living room to your favorite old songs. I've had patients lower their cholesterol not by treadmills, but by simply gardening, by playing with their grandchildren, by choosing movement over stillness. I like to say movement is a vote for life. Every step you take says, "I'm still here. I'm still choosing my health. I'm still choosing my future." Science explains it simply: exercise improves circulation, reduces artery stiffness, and trains your heart to pump more efficiently. But beyond the science, it gives something deeper. It gives dignity. It gives independence. It gives you the chance to keep doing the things you love without being held back by fatigue or illness. I want you to imagine this. You're at a family gathering. There's laughter, children running around, music playing. You get up, join the dance, or chase your grandchild across the yard without feeling winded. That freedom, that ability is not luck. It's the result of daily choices to move. So here's my advice. Don't make exercise about punishment. Make it about joy. Find the movement that makes you feel alive. For some, it's walking. For others, it's swimming at the community pool, cycling around the neighborhood, or stretching gently with yoga. And if you're just starting, to begin small, 5 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow. Little by little, your body will reward you with strength you didn't know you still had. I once asked a patient in her 70s, "What changed for you after walking every day for 3 months?" She smiled and said, "Doctor, I no longer feel old. I feel like me again." That's the gift of movement. It doesn't just lower cholesterol, it restores youth to your spirit. So the next time you think about skipping that walk, remember this: every step is a message to your heart. And the message is simple: I still care for you. So my friends, as we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to pause for a moment. Think about your heart, that quiet companion that has been beating faithfully for you every single day for decades. It has carried you through childhood laughter, the stress of raising a family, the triumphs and setbacks of work, and the simple joys of growing older. Isn't it time we carried it back with the same devotion it has shown us? We've talked about vitamins today, not as magic pills, but as gentle allies. Vitamin B3 helping sweep away excess cholesterol. Vitamin D3, the sunlight in your veins. Vitamin E, a shield against damage. Vitamin K2, the traffic cop guiding calcium where it belongs. And vitamin C, the humble protector that strengthens your arteries day after day. But more than nutrients, these are daily reminders of food as medicine, of small choices as powerful acts of the truth that healing isn't something we wait for, it's something we practice. I often tell my patients, don't look for perfection, look for progress. If tonight, instead of a bag of chips, you reach for a handful of almonds, that is progress. If tomorrow you walk around the block when you could have stayed in the chair, that is progress. And if you start filling your plate with colors, with greens, oranges, purples, that is progress. Small steps taken every day can rewrite your story. Now I'd like to hear from you. Which of these vitamins surprised you the most? Have you tried adding any of them into your routine, maybe through foods or supplements? What changes have you noticed in your energy, your mood, your health? Share your thoughts in the comments because your story may be the encouragement someone else needs. And if this message spoke to your heart, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. A brother, a neighbor, a friend from church, someone who may need to hear that cholesterol is not a life sentence but a call to care. Remember, you are not alone on this road. Together, step by step, choice by choice, we can build a healthier future, one that lets us dance a little longer, laugh a little louder, and love with more years in front of us. Take care of your heart, my friends. And as always, I'll be here to guide you along the way. Until next time, stay well, stay hopeful, and stay alive to the gift of this moment.